Hello all, in the last session we have discussed about microwave components. The microwave components means here it includes source, load, and source and load are connected with waveguides. So in the earlier chapters we have discussed about different types of waveguides, parallel plate and rectangular and circular waveguides. So every microwave system or any system which is having every system is made with components or blocks, and here the microwave components means first we have discussed in microwave junctions, after that directional couplers. So in the microwave junctions we have discussed about microwave T junctions, means the microwave junctions which are in the shape of English alphabet capital letter T model. So here in the microwave T junctions also having there are different types of T junctions: E plane T junction, H plane T junction, and a hybrid T junction. Hybrid means which is having both characteristics of E plane T and H plane T. It is also called as magic T. So these are the microwave components. Microwave junctions are microwave components, and next component we are going to discuss is directional coupler. So what it means? What is the use of directional coupler? Actually, the microwave junctions are used to add the microwave energy or to separate the microwave energy from one port to another port. Like that, directional couplers are used to measure the microwave energy. So how this measurement will happen? So actually directional coupler is nothing but it is built with one main waveguide and a secondary waveguide is auxiliary waveguide. So directional coupler is having four ports. These four ports are constructed with a main waveguide and a auxiliary waveguide. So by using this directional coupler, a small amount of microwave energy is sampled from one port and it is used to measure the microwave energy. So this measured energy may be the incident power or reflected power. So what is incident power and what is reflected power? If we see this diagram, this is a directional coupler. So it is a main waveguide. Directional coupler is having the four ports, and these four ports are formed by using two waveguides, main waveguide and auxiliary waveguide. So this is a port 1 incident power, and this is port 2 received power, this is port 3 back power, and port 4 coupled power. So directional couplers may be unidirectional or bidirectional. Unidirectional means it is used to measure only the incident power. Bidirectional directional coupler means it is used to measure both incident and reflected power. Reflected power is nothing but the received power here. So the DC is a 4-port waveguide junction consisting primary waveguide and secondary waveguide as a auxiliary waveguide. And simply these directional couplers are used for measuring purpose. It is used to measure the microwave energy which is incident or which is reflected. So here I am assuming that these all four ports are perfectly matched, and already we have discussed in the last session what do you mean by perfectly matched junctions, perfectly matched ports. So perfectly matched ports means the ports which are not having any reflected powers, the ports which are having the impedance equal to the characteristic impedance. The port is having the impedance which is equal to the characteristic impedance means there is no reflected power. Whatever the power which is coming from the source side, that power is fully accepted by the port. So by assuming that all four ports are perfectly matched, the directional coupler is having some properties. What is a property means? Here, this is a port 1. A portion of power which is traveling from port 1 to the port 2 is coupled to the port 4, not to port 3. See, this is a back, port 3 is acting as a back power, right? So if a power is incident at port 1, that is received by the port 2, and some amount of power is coupled to port 4, means here this coupled power is used for measuring purposes. Okay, so by this is a actual directional coupler work, that is some amount of power is sampled from the main waveguide, that is by using this port 4, and that sampled power is used to measure. Okay, so for example, from this port I am giving the input. Next, in the later session I may give the power from the port 2. So this is acting as an incident power. Then this will act as a received power. Okay. So if some amount of power is incident at port 2, that is received at port 1, and that is coupled to port 3 but not to port 4. Similarly, if a small amount of power is traveling from port 3, that is received by port 2 and coupled to port 4, not to port 1. Similarly, if an amount of power is traveling from port 4, that is received by the port 1, coupled to port 3 but not to port 2. So by this what I want to say is port 1 and 3 and port 2 and 4, these are decoupled ports. These are decoupled ports. Port 1 and 3 and port 2 and 4 are decoupled ports. So here I am representing these powers in terms of letters like this: P suffix I. Pi is nothing but incident power. PR, it is nothing but received power. PF, it is nothing but forward power coupled at port 4, P suffix F, and back power is PB at port 3. So now I am going to discuss about the parameters which are used to describe the performance of directional coupler. Okay, so these are very important. The parameters, what are the parameters which are used to describe the performance of directional coupler? So first parameter is coupling factor. Coupling factor C. It is represented by capital letter C. So it is defined as the ratio of incident power Pi to the forward power PF measured in dB. Measured in dB. So mathematically it can be written as C is equals to, as it is measured in dB, I am writing C is equal to 10 log Pi by Pf to the base 10 in dB. Okay, this is about the coupling factor. And the second parameter is directivity D. Directivity represented by the capital English alphabet capital D. So it is defined as the ratio of forward power, the ratio of forward power Pf to the back power Pb, and it can be written as capital D is equals to 10 log to the base 10 Pf by Pb in dB. Okay, so here coupling factor is a measure of how much incident power is being sampled. How much incident power is being sampled. So actually this is a main waveguide, port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. So it is Pi, Pr, Pf, Pb. So it is a ratio of Pi by Pf. This is the incident power and this is the coupled power, or coupled power which is used to measure. So the coupling factor C is a measure how much of incident power is being sampled. Okay, how much power is sampled, that is described by the coupling factor. While the directivity is a measure of how well the directional coupler distinguishes between the forward power and the back power. Okay, so here ideally the back power should be 0 or very less. So directivity will give us how much how much the directional coupler will distinguishes between the forward power and the back power. And next, one more parameter that is describing the performance of a directional coupler is isolation. Isolation means the name itself it is saying the ratio of the incident power Pi to the back power Pb. Okay, so isolation. So as already we discussed in the introduction of this directional coupler in the starting of this session, this 1 and 3, 2 and 4, these are decoupled ports. Decoupled ports means there is no transaction between 1 and 3 directly and 2 and 4 directly. So how these ports are isolated, that will be given by this isolation parameter. So it is a ratio of incident power Pi to the back power Pb, and mathematically it can be written as 10 log to the base 10 Pi by Pb. Okay, and three more parameters we have to keep in mind while discussing the performance of a directional coupler. Those are SWR, standing wave ratio. Okay, so ideally we want, or ideally there is a need of, for any system there is a need of low standing wave ratios. Low standing wave ratio and the frequency range. Here wide frequency is required because it eliminates the need of octave band couplers to cover the broadband range. because wide frequency band will eliminate octave band couplers to cover the broadband range. And minimum transmission loss. Minimum transmission loss for significant power availability. For significant power availability. Okay. So, what are the parameters to describe the performance of a directional coupler are: first one is coupling factor, second one is directivity, third one is isolation, and remaining three are about standing wave ratio, frequency band, and transmission loss. So SWR should be minimum, transmission loss should also be minimum, but the frequency range we required should be very wide. So if the frequency range is very wide, what will happen, how it will become an advantage means the broad range of broad range of communication can be developed. Okay, so this is about the directional coupler introduction. Thank you.